Hi everybody, I'm Tavia. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be reading Reddit stories. So welcome to the Reddit side of my channel, and we're going to be reading different categories of Reddit stuff. Things like, am I the a-hole? Am I overreacting? Am I a bad parent? And so many more. So today we have Am I the A-hole? And I decided to do some short stories because reading Am I the A-hole stories are kind of hard because I want to make sure all the information is in there and I kind of want to read it myself. But as far as editing goes, it can get a little tricky for me because I'm still new to this. So I'm going to go ahead and find some really short ones that we're going to go through, and we're going to be figuring out if some people are the a-hole or not. Let's go ahead and get started. So it says, am I the a-hole for rejecting a nice short guy because I wasn't attracted? Hi, my name is Julia. I'm 19, 5'4". So I met this guy from a friend of mine who said we would be a good match. After spending some time together, he was pretty nice, but a bit shy. He is 5'5" though, which is just so short for my preference. I wasn't really attracted despite him not being a bad looking guy. I didn't want to waste any more of his time or my time. So I told him I thought he was a fine guy, but I just wasn't feeling it. But he clearly was pretty hurt and kept asking why. And I just told him he was a bit short for me and I wasn't really feeling it. He kind of nodded and said okay with a bit hurt in his voice. And he drove me home. Was it right to tell him straight out because he kept asking? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stamp this person as not the a-hole. And let me tell you why. I want to say props this for being honest, because if you're not attracted to them, like height aside, she said she wasn't attracted to him. So getting to the point of the fact that she wasn't attracted to him is important. People like to say, well, looks isn't everything. And while I think you don't have to be the most beautiful individual in the world, you still have to feel some type of attraction to somebody sometimes in order for you to get somewhere. So I don't know if you could word it differently or not because I wasn't present when this actually occurred. Sometimes wording stuff can change the way somebody takes it, but there are times where no matter how well you word it, people are going to be still offended. In this case, I don't think you try to come off with bad intentions or you try to word it in a mean way and he still was hurt. I think regardless of how you answer this question, they were still going to be hurt. So I don't think you're the a-hole. I think that you handled the situation the best way you possibly could in this case, and he kept asking. At this point, you already made it known that you weren't attracted to him and the height was a issue for you. At that point, he wanted more information. So not the a-hole. Let's get to the next story. Am I the a-hole? Short and simple. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. Am I the a-hole? I was on the phone with my boyfriend. We were talking here and there. He was watching something. We were both folding clothes. My best friend texted me telling me she had a long day and wanted to hang out. So I tell her we can't. My boyfriend got upset with me because I told her that we could hang out before I told him that she wanted to hang out, and I agreed to it. So am I the a-hole for not telling him before I told her? Edit. He also never said I had to have permission, but doesn't make it right. Okay, so I want to go ahead and say you're not the a-hole. Here's why. It's not as if you and your boyfriends had previous plans. It just seemed like you guys were on the phone. Any plans you made with your friend isn't wrong of you. And I think a lot of people drop their friends when their boyfriend is included, which I think is wrong. Whoever you made the plans with first is the person that, what's the word? That loyalty or that tie in the moment. I don't think you guys technically had plans. You just on probably a casual call, and if that is the case, then you don't necessarily have to ask his permission. You just have to tell him that I'm going to hang out with my friend later and leave it at that. If he feels a way about that, I think that's something that you guys could probably discuss further as far as why he feels a way about it and figure out a solution for that. But I don't think you're the a-hole for that. I just think that maybe you guys need to have a conversation about how you guys are going to go about situations like this in the future so you guys don't have any extra problems. But I also feel like it's not that deep. But I don't think you're the a-hole. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of am I the a-hole in her, and it's talking about height. I don't know if I should take that as a hit because I am short myself. But what's going on? People really not like people because of their height. Alright, this is a little bit more lengthy, but we're going to get into it. Am I the a-hole for cutting my trip with my wife short after I learned that my son's step-grandparents weren't feeding him properly? My wife and I got married a couple months ago. We didn't get a chance to go on a honeymoon, but then I planned a trip for us as a couple. I originally was planning on leaving my 9-year-old son with his regular babysitter. However, my wife insisted that we leave him with her parents. I agreed, but was hesitant because my son was dietary restrictions due to medical problems. My in-laws commented on his eating habits as spoiled. Oh my goodness. I sent him there, gave them a loss of what food I'm guessing it's a list of what food he should be fed. The fourth day of the trip, he video called me and told me that he's been eating only snacks and he hasn't eaten a warm meal in days. I was puzzled and asked if his grandparents didn't cook any of his regular meals on the list, but he said no. They just gave him snacks. I was absolutely livid, especially after I contacted mother-in-law and after she told me he wasn't a personal cook and that it wasn't her fault I spoiled my kid. I cut my trip short and went home immediately. My wife was upset, saying instead of cutting the long waited for trip I'm cussing, he's saying instead of cutting the long waiting trip short, I should have let the babysitter take care of feeding him, and we had a fight, and she told me that her parents owed me nothing and I always ruined things for us. Now I ruined the trip she planned. You're not the a-hole. Your wife is the a-hole, actually. The whole family is at this point. I dislike this a lot. When you marry somebody and they have children, if you're in a relationship with somebody and they have children, those kids are not your responsibility. If you don't believe that that's the case, then you guys should not be together. Because at the end of the day, this person's kids is their kids, and they're not going to disappear like you may disappear later in life. That's reality. So, with that being said, the fact that your parents who volunteered and you volunteered didn't say, hey, maybe we should really ensure that this child is taken care of because he's entrusting them with the kid, is a huge problem. This speaks on problems as far as how they are as parents, how you are going to be as a future mother, and how you guys are as people. It's not that hard for you to make sure that you cook well-balanced, healthy, warm meals for a child with whatever you have. If you talked about the specifics as far as why it's important, and now your son is going to possibly be medically incapacitated or have some type of issues because they didn't do their due diligence as grandparents, because take the step out of it, as grandparents, that is a problem. The fact that they try to buckle down as he's being spoiled, like, you don't know what could possibly happen to this kid if he's not taken care of in this possible way. And honestly, I wonder what happened, because that's something serious. You don't mess around with health factors when it comes to it being medically connected. Like, he's not ensuring that his kid is just fed this way because he thinks it's fun. It's because this has to do with how this can affect him medically. And honestly, her being so selfish that's the way she looks at it, and she herself isn't worried about the care of him, tells me exactly how she is as a person as well. And that's my thoughts surrounding the situation. You're not the a-hole at all. She is, and the family is too. I'm not gonna lie, I've never been able to call it, but I feel like divorce might be in their future, because there's no way this is gonna get better. This seems like a situation that can only get worse. A lot of other people is agreeing with me in the comments with this, saying he made a serious mistake marrying her and then some. And I kind of agree. Okay, this is going to be the last one of our stories. I don't want to keep this video too long, but let's go ahead and hop into it. Am I the a-hole? So me and my girlfriend, 26 mil, 29 female, currently long distance. I had an argument. She blamed me for it. So I have this friend, and his wife is a lawyer, who my girlfriend doesn't like because she cheats on her husband. My girlfriend is a bit old-fashioned. Oh, so the friend is cheating. The girlfriend is... Okay, so this is an interesting friendship. Some days ago, I met them. Then since have a case. Asked her for a legal question, including a bit of small talk. Nothing out of the ordinary. My friend was there too. Then when I told my girlfriend, she got upset because she said the wife isn't a decent person and she doesn't trust her. She simply doesn't want me to rely on her, and am I not at the stage of the relationship with her where I can ask for her help? I said it's better for me if I ask her instead of heading to a lawyer, which I need to pay for. She should understand. I'm a little bit lost here because of turned into a serious fight. I apologize for grammar mistakes. English is my main, like, okay, we accept. But I try still. I just wanted to get the opinion of others. Was I in the wrong? I forgot to add, my girlfriend has made it clear before that she doesn't like his wife at all and she wouldn't appreciate if I had contact with her. I also have to be fair and admit that I forgot to add that I need her help a couple of times before this, and my girlfriend made it clear that she didn't like it. Not because she doesn't trust me, but because she doesn't trust it like the said person. Now she's extra upset because I did what I did, even though I already knew beforehand what that she doesn't like her, and now her reason for being upset is I already knew she didn't like her and I had other options and needed to respect her boundaries. Okay, so this is gonna be the last story, so I'm gonna go ahead and just break it down really quickly. From based on what I'm getting, the friend's wife is a lawyer. She cheats on her husband, which I think is really weird that we all have knowledge of this, but not my business. The girlfriend doesn't like the fact that they're communicating, which I can respect. Here's my problem though. I want to say they're not the a-hole, and let me tell you why. She did communicate the fact that she didn't want him talking, and I respect it. What I'm getting from the situation, he's not having conversations with her alone, so it's not necessarily like he's hitting her up by herself or going to have dinner or having lunch. It seemed like the husband is there with them. So I'm like concerned with that. I'm like, I don't know. Two, I don't think they're just chopping it up. This is a legal situation. And why would I go and pay somebody for consultation? Why can't I say that word? Consultation. Why would I go pay somebody for consultation? Why can't I? Consultation. Why can't I say that word? What is going on? You could you do you want you could do so you. Why would I go pay somebody for a consultation when I could just ask my friend? So while I think her feelings are valid, I think this isn't about her feelings in the moment. It's about saving money. And I just feel like if that's the case, like, he had no ill intentions for real. He's just trying to get this information so he can move forward and whatever it is that he's doing. So I want to go ahead and say he's not the a-hole. I feel like for this one, we actually had a lot of people that's not the a-hole. I just think that sometimes when you're handling stuff a certain way, people may think that's how you are, or they might attach certain words towards you because sometimes being truthful or being factual can be equated to you being a bad person or not being nice or sugarcoating, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you just have to say the truth and just leave it at that. But all these individuals weren't the a-hole. I'll catch you guys in my next videos. Don't forget to go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and hit that post notification so you can be notified. Once again, if you have any Reddit stories that you want me to check out, go ahead and comment it down below in the comment section, and I'll make sure to go ahead and go through them and make a video about them. I'll catch you guys next time. Make sure you go ahead and check out all the other content that's on my channel, and if anything interests you, I would really appreciate it if you like, comment on those videos as well. I am Tavia, and I am signing out. Bye guys.